when someone gave me a really old set of Logitech speakers. What's I gonna do with that? Well, my answer for everything nowadays is put it in an ammo box.
The only ammo boxes I have are really old. If they've made it this far, I'm not about to cut them up for some speakers that someone gave me. So I made one from some reclaimed wood.
Where I'm gonna make the cut on these. I'm gonna do it to both sides. When you build speaker boxes, you need to worry about the spatial volume and that everything is sealed up. 1/4-inch MDF with corner bracing was used in building the replacement boxes. Everything was sealed with silicone. After positioning the new boxes, speaker holes were routed out. Before going too much farther, I want to finish up painting this thing. Taped off the speakers and the hinge. I used 3 different paints: Fern, Espresso, and Camouflage. When I'm sanding with this 80 grit sandpaper, the funny thing is the more grain I expose, the cooler it looks. Right now I'm just figuring out the configuration for the interior. Obviously there's not a lot of components. There's the Logitech Bluetooth receiver, the Lepai 20 watt RMS amplifier, and a power strip. One thing I have to worry about though is the boxes for the speakers when the top is brought up. Everything's plugged up and I've got the Logitech Bluetooth receiver paired up with my BlackBerry Z10. I know it's a BlackBerry, but hey, if it works with this BlackBerry, it's got to work with anything you have. What I want to do is be able to plug in a standard computer, plug in the outside of this to this, and then have it work with the surge protector. Get it so that these cables are going as straight back as possible. I need a mounting plate for the new plug, and what I'm going to do is cut out this one section here of the old power supply. To do that, I'll use the hobbyist's favorite tool, the Dremel. The next thing I want to introduce is a switch into this that'll mount on the outside. The thing to consider whenever you're doing this switch, use one of the white or the black wires and interrupt the flow of electricity. I cut the power connector out of the surge protector circuit that I had set up for testing, stripped the ends to make it easier for myself later, pre-drilled these holes, and now I'm going to use some number 6 1¼ inch screws to fasten this back in place. One of the reasons I cut this plate out of the original power supply for the computer was that this outlet piece snaps in place. So I'm able to snap it onto this piece of metal, and then I'll use the metal to hold everything in place. I use the plate that I made from the sheet metal salvaged from the power supply as a reference. I'll mark the center of it, drill out the area. With the switch fitting in here, I'm going to put the mounting plate on it and screw it in place. If I had any forethought or planning in this power strip, I would have chosen a black one, number 1, or painted it outside before I wired it into the box. But it doesn't seem like that's my nature. I sprayed really light in the front. It doesn't look like anything got in the contacts. In fact, it barely covers the white. I did some wire management the inexpensive way, which is electrical tape. It also hides the fact that this was a white cord originally. Does an awesome job. And I think it only costs like $1. All the wire management's in place. Logitech is just stapled down with some extra wire, and everything else is secured to the sides and to the box itself, so whenever it gets moved around, things don't shift around. And most important is that when this closes, it doesn't hit anything. Wow, it looks like the dog's enjoying herself. If you like this project, subscribe below and check us out at adventuresindiy.com.